Level 1. You wake to the sound of boots on your stairs. A knock becomes a command. Lights strip the room of sleep. Hands cuff your wrists like they own you. They read your rights in a neutral voice. The words feel like stones in your mouth. You did not do this. You tell them. You say it loud enough to believe. They lead you past neighbors who stare like jurors. Every glance is a verdict. A camera blinks behind a curtain. Someone says your name like it is an accusation. You are taken to a room with no clocks. A fluorescent hum swallows time. They ask questions you never expected to hear. Your answers are cataloged. Your phone, your keys, your life, cataloged. You are fingerprinted, photographed, named on paper. The silence that follows is heavy. You try to imagine how a mistake could become a life sentence. Outside, the world continues. Inside, the world shrinks to interrogation and cold metal. You count the minutes by the ache in your jaw. You promise yourself two things: to remember everything and to survive. This is the first cut. It will not be the last. Level 2. Evidence arrives like a weather front. Photos, receipts, a witness statement that looks exact and rehearsed. It fits into a story you swear you never lived. They show you footage. You watch yourself where you know you are not. The angles are precise, the timestamp is neat. The face is yours with someone else's shadow. You feel vertigo. You think of every place you could have been framed. Who would gain from your ruin? Ex? Colleague? A business partner with a ledger you never saw? The thought fractures into 50 smaller fears. They say motive like it is obvious. You search for motive in your memory and find only routine. They press fingerprints, DNA, and a trail that points to you. An object with your DNA, a call from your number. You find small inconsistencies only you notice. A lunch you ate alone, a bus you rode. They are dismissed as holes. You are an outline waiting to be filled. You think, if they can plant this, what else can they plant? You start cataloging the people who smiled too much at your funeral before it happened. Level 3. You learn the rules the hard way. Speak, and they edit your words into confession. Stay silent, and they call you uncooperative. Lawyers arrive like generals. Some have compassion, some want the headlines. You choose someone who looks hungry for truth, not cameras. Bail is a price tag on your freedom. You watch a judge stamp your life with a gavel. Your name echoes in legalese. You begin to understand the theater of criminal justice. Every exchange becomes performance. You memorize the phone numbers you should have memorized long ago. You call your mother, your sibling, a friend who knows the scent of your guiltlessness. You warn them, do not speak to the police. Do not post. Do not try to help without a compass. You erase social accounts because the internet is an evidence locker. You practice your story, simply, honestly, without embellishment. You notice the way your voice sounds when you say, "I did not do this." It is a fragile weapon. Outside, banners of accusation bloom online. Strangers brand you. You learn the currency of public opinion: speed, outrage, certainty. You must move faster. Level 4. You become a detective of your own life. You retrace every hour of the day in question. Receipts, timestamps, transaction logs, surveillance on routes you did not travel. You ask for CCTV like a prayer. Some cameras are blank. Some are mysteriously obscured. The ones that remain show timelines that do not account for you. A witness who once smiled now avoids your eye. A neighbor remembers a different face. You hire a private investigator, an old dog with new tricks. He finds a thread, a shadow in the footage, a second camera angle, a call from an unknown number minutes before the incident. Forensics becomes your religion. They analyze fibers, phone metadata, the angle of a blood spatter. You learn that things that feel like truth are often the result of calculation. Digital footprints are footprints of convenience, not reality. You discover manipulation, timestamps altered, files cloned, call logs spoofed. Someone wanted you to be in two places at once. The idea of a setup becomes less abstract and more precise. Every discovery is a small light in the dark. You map the lights like constellations. You begin to see the architect. Level 5. Confrontation is a calibrated risk. You can storm into the open and demand answers. You can quietly dismantle the case piece by piece. Your lawyer counsels patience. Your instinct screams attack. You prepare to expose the frame. You subpoena records. You question timelines. You test alibis publicly. Media attention becomes both ally and enemy. A sympathetic story can save you. A salacious headline can bury you. You choose the right cameras, not the ones that hunt, but the ones that explain. You hold evidence like a weapon, deployed at the perfect moment. You force a witness into memory on record. You prove an implausible timeline with a single unbroken receipt. You show patterns of behavior from the real culprits. Power changes hands quietly once doubt creeps in. Officials who once looked confident now glance at their reports. You taste reversal like cold metal. A judge frays at the seams of certainty. But this is not victory. It is a pause. The system is slow to concede. You must keep pushing. Level 6. Pressure escalates. Interrogations lengthen. Bail conditions tighten. Opponents resort to smear and intimidation. You find your tires slashed, your mailbox rifled. Threats are left unsigned. A stranger follows you home until you take a turn that leaves them behind. You sleep with lights on. You learn the mechanics of false confessions they train in movies and classrooms. Sleep deprivation, calculated empathy, the promise of leniency, the coil tightens. You resist. You memorize your story until it feels like armor. Friends grow quiet. Some say keep your head down. Others whisper that you should disappear. You think of exile like a dark option. Your life fractures into waiting rooms and whispered updates. You watch as reputations fold like paper. Yet you also see cracks in the other side. Small mistakes. A phone ping where it shouldn't. An officer who forgets a timeline. Doubt is a slow virus. You cultivate it. Little by little, people begin to see the seams. Level 7. There are endings and there are continuations. Exoneration feels like sunlight and glass at once. There is paperwork, apologies that never sound like enough, an attempt to stitch you back together. Sometimes you walk free and the world remains a little haunted. Sometimes you take a deal to walk free but carry the stigma like a scar. Sometimes the conspirators are never found. You may rebuild or you may leave. If you win completely, you can sue, expose, and try to deter future frames. If you lose, you survive inside a story someone else wrote for you. Either way, you are different. Your trust is sparser, your answers are sharper. You learn the economy of small proofs, bank statements, time-stamped photos, witnesses who will swear with more than memory. You design your future like a fortress. You teach others what you learned. Avoid broadcasting your life, secure devices, document interactions, build alibis in real time. You learn to read motive before it becomes method. At night, you still wake to the sound of boots. You count the way your heart remembers the first room with no clocks. You vow never to let them turn your name into an evidentiary sentence again. But the film of that day is forever in the grain of your memory. And sometimes, when the light hits it wrong, you can still see the face that put you there. You know now how easy certainty can be manufactured. You know how stubborn truth must be to survive. You keep fighting, you keep remembering,